As the year 2025 unfolds, disability benefits across the UK are entering a period of major change. For the millions of people who rely on financial support because of long-term health conditions or disabilities, even the smallest adjustment can make a meaningful difference to daily life. This year's updates do not only include routine annual increases in payments, they also introduce shifts in how eligibility is assessed, particularly for the personal independence payment. These changes could alter how people qualify, how much they receive, and how secure they feel about their long-term financial stability. With the cost of living continuing to place pressure on households, especially those already dealing with additional disability-related expenses, understanding these updates has never been more important. ESA, or Employment and Support Allowance, remains one of the key benefits for people whose health conditions limit their ability to work. The latest revisions for 2025 include increases to several personal allowances and disability premiums. Official tables released by the government confirm that enhanced disability premiums and severe disability premiums will rise from April. These uplifts are part of the standard uprating process that takes place every year, intended to keep benefits in line with inflation. Yet for many disabled people, the impact of inflation feels heavier than what these adjustments cover. Costs such as specialist equipment, transportation needs, adaptive devices, higher utility usage, and ongoing medical expenses add up quickly. Although the increases offer some help, many charities argue that they still fall short of meeting real-world needs. ESA payments for people in the work-related activity group and the support group will remain unchanged for now. This decision ensures that those with serious or long-term disabling conditions continue receiving the same core level of support while the government focuses its updates on specific disability-related additions. Still, campaigners continue to highlight that maintaining the same rates in these categories overlooks the growing financial pressures faced by households with chronic illnesses or disabilities. PIP, or Personal Independence Payment, is also receiving notable updates. Both the daily living and mobility components will increase from April 2025. The standard daily living rate will see a modest rise, while the enhanced rate will increase slightly more. Mobility payments are also being adjusted, with the enhanced mobility rate receiving a more noticeable increase. For many claimants, these changes provide essential relief, helping to cover everyday care-related needs, transportation challenges, home adaptations, or other additional costs tied to living with a disability. But the most discussed change this year isn't the payment increase, it's the proposed adjustment to PIP eligibility rules. Under the new plan, claimants will need to score at least 4 points within a single daily living activity category to qualify. This is a significant shift. Currently, many people qualify because they score small numbers of points across multiple activities, reflecting a broad but genuine pattern of difficulties. Under the proposed system, people who face milder limitations across several areas but no high difficulty in one single category may lose their entitlement entirely. The government's explanation for this change, according to their equality analysis, is that the rapid growth in PIP spending is becoming difficult to sustain in the long term. However, disability groups argue that financial pressure should not become the driving force behind limiting essential support. Attendance allowance, disability living allowance for those who still qualify under legacy rules, and carers allowance are also receiving increases. These payments are critical for older disabled people and those who care for family members with substantial needs. Although the adjustments provide some relief, rising care costs and increasing household expenses are making it difficult for these payments to stretch as far as they once did. Many carers already struggle with balancing part-time work, caregiving duties, and financial pressure. Even with the annual uprating, the gap between costs and support continues to grow. The broader economic situation is essential to understanding why these changes matter. Disabled people consistently face higher living costs compared to the general population. Whether it's needing specialized medical equipment, modifying their home, paying for extra heating due to health conditions, or using costly transport alternatives, the financial burden is unavoidable. Every increase in benefit rates, even those that appear small on paper, can make a real difference to everyday life. But at the same time, the government is increasingly concerned about rising spending on disability benefits. PIP claims have grown significantly faster than expected in recent years, driven by a mix of increased awareness, more people living with long-term health issues, and economic pressures that highlight the importance of accessible support. Alongside these benefit changes, the government has announced long-term investment aimed at supporting disabled people into employment where possible. £1 billion has been earmarked for tailored employment programs by 2030. This reflects a shift in policy direction, one that attempts to balance financial support with encouraging employment participation. Many welcome the idea of providing more specialized assistance for disabled people seeking work, but others worry that increased pressure to engage in employment may not reflect the realities faced by people with fluctuating or severe conditions. There are growing concerns about how the proposed PIP eligibility changes will impact claimants. Research suggests that up to 1.2 million people could lose part or all of their PIP award if the 4-point rule goes ahead. This could particularly affect people with mixed or milder difficulties across multiple daily living tasks. Disability organizations have warned that the change could create a system where only people with clearly concentrated high-impact conditions receive support, while others often with invisible or fluctuating disabilities fall through the cracks. There is also worry about increased reassessments. With the government planning to review claims more frequently, many fear losing their support even if their condition has not improved. Long-term reforms are also being discussed as part of the Disability Green Paper. These proposals could reshape the system by the end of the decade. Some ideas include transforming parts of ESA and other long-term disability payments into a type of time-limited unemployment insurance for certain claimants. Another proposal is to eventually phase out the work capability assessment and replace it with a model that relies more heavily on PIP assessments. Additionally, the health element of universal credit for new claimants could be significantly reduced and then frozen for several years. These ideas point toward a future where disability support becomes more closely tied to employment services and periodic assessment rather than long-term financial security. Understandably, many disabled people worry about losing their independence or facing new barriers when trying to qualify for help. To understand how these changes might affect real people, imagine someone like Alice, age 40, who currently qualifies for the daily living component of PIP because she scores small numbers of points across several activities. She struggles with preparing meals, managing medication, and social engagement, but none of these issues individually score high points. Under the proposed system, she may lose her entitlement entirely, despite having genuine day-to-day challenges. Ben, age 55, who receives ESA as part of the support group, may experience a slight financial boost due to increases in disability premiums, offering him some relief with bills and medical costs. Meanwhile, someone like Chloe, who provides full-time care for her elderly mother, may appreciate the increase in carer's allowance but still worry that her mother could lose support under the new PIP eligibility rules. For people receiving disability benefits or planning to apply, the next few months will be important. Claimants should review their current award letters, make sure any medical evidence is up to date, and be prepared for possible reassessments. Reporting any changes in circumstances promptly is essential. Seeking independent advice from welfare advisors, disability organizations, or support services can help clarify how the reforms may affect individual situations. It is also wise to think ahead about how long-term proposals could influence future entitlement. Disability organizations are entering a crucial period as well. With eligibility tightening and further reforms being considered, the support sector will play a major role in helping claimants understand new rules, prepare for reassessments, and challenge unfair decisions. Many organizations are expected to push back against any proposals that may disproportionately affect people with invisible, fluctuating, or complex conditions. As the system potentially moves toward a more employment-driven model, these groups will continue advocating for fairness, accessibility, and financial protection. Several key developments will be worth watching throughout 2025. These include confirming whether the 4-point PIP rule will be implemented, understanding how current PIP claimants will be reassessed under new criteria, determining how future universal credit claimants will be affected by reductions to the health element, and monitoring how the new employment support investment will be rolled out. Additionally, legal challenges from disability organizations could influence the final shape of the reforms. Overall, the disability benefit changes for 2025 bring a mix of improvements and challenges. While payment increases offer some welcome financial relief, the proposed eligibility adjustments could leave many people with reduced support or no support at all. For disabled claimants, staying informed about upcoming changes is essential. The direction of these reforms suggests a system that increasingly connects disability support with employment requirements, which may help some people but create new difficulties for others. Understanding the practical details of these updates, not just the new payment amounts, but also the shifting rules and expectations, is the best way to prepare for what lies ahead.